Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing a Swiss Magic Origins draft. Alright, good pack one here. Got some real choices. Anointer's very good. We've got Blightcaster, Thopter Engineer, Claustrophobia, Boggart Brute, Mythic Rare that isn't that good. Not the worst card, but pretty tough build around, I would think. So I'm looking at Anointer. I think I'm seriously looking at Anointer, Thopter Engineer, or Claustrophobia as my first pick. And I don't know which one I like the most. I feel like it's Claustrophobia simply because it's removal. Anointer is very good. Anointer's very good. And Thopter Engineer is very good too. So it's really difficult. I think it's more of a preference thing, but I'm just going to go for the removal here because I can't decide what I like the most. So when in doubt about what's the best, go for the removal. That's what I always say. No, that's not even true. It's just I think Claustrophobia is really good. I think those other two cards were really good too. All right, well, no blue pick to be found. So I guess we take Unholy Hunger. Blessed Spirits is pretty good, especially with Claustrophobia. A little bit of synergy there. Unholy Hunger, though, is pretty good. Not insane. Like, I pick it lower now than I did before, but I do think it's the best card in this pack. So I think I am going to go Unholy Hunger. Alright. Aeronaut, Blightcaster. I mean, Blightcaster already works well with Claustrophobia, but there's not a ton. I think the black-white enchantments where Blightcaster really shines. I just come to really like Aeronaut a lot. I think it's a great card. I think it is the pick for me here. I think it's better than Ringwarden Owl, being a colored mana cheaper and giving you two bodies. Yeah, I think we'll go for the Aeronaut here. Okay, so I kind of want to stay down the blue path and take the Void Mage. I think Gearcrafter is a very good card. I like Suppression Bonds, but I think I'm going to go Void Mage here. I think Fetid Imp is pretty reasonable too, but Void Mage has been pretty phenomenal for me for the most part, so I think I will take it. Alright. Well, best card in this pack is Wild Instincts. Maritime Guard is just not very exciting. Nantuko Husk to stay in black is similarly not terribly exciting. I don't think Nantuko Husk shines in a blue-black deck, although we do have a token generator already. And I guess it's okay with the Void Mage. I mean, Wild Instincts is a good card. It certainly is the best card remaining in this pack. Guess we'll take it. Okay. So Cleric of the Forward Order in white is pretty good. Could just take the Orchard Spirit to pair better with our Wild Instincts. I think Orchard Spirit's a good card too. No black card I care about. Fairly late Lightning Javelin. Pretty late Lightning Javelin, actually. But Dismissal and Send to Sleep in blue, not terribly excited about those. I think Javelin is better than Spirit. Should I take a sixth pick Javelin as maybe a sign of people passing red cards? I don't know. I think I'm still okay taking Orchard Spirit here. I like Orchard Spirit quite a bit. Okay, I don't like Scrapskin Drake all that much. I like my creatures to be able to block, so I think I'm going to take Titanic Growth, which has been an awesome card and probably the best card remaining in this pack, so pretty good. Ooh, that is a very late Towergeist, which is a pretty incredible card. I would argue a first pick card, no problem. Like, no problem first picking Towergeist and being content with it. So seeing it this late is a pretty good sign. especially in a pack that's got like nothing else either. So it really is like the one standalone pick there. None of these cards are all that good. I guess we'll take the Stratus Walk. We could end up with some fat green dudes that maybe we want to make fly. We'll see. All right, Automaton has been okay, but actually I guess we take the Rogue's Passage. Awkward thing about Rogue's Passage is our guys mostly evade already, which does make it worse, but Automaton seems replaceable, especially since we already have four drops. So I guess we'll take the land that makes stuff unblockable. All right, tabled Ring Warden Owl, happily taking that. Good to see all this green. We'll take the Gorger. Could take the Gather the Pack. I don't really have a ton of rewards for taking Gather the Pack right now. If I end up with like Scab Goliath, it could be, but I'll take a Gorger. I think Gorger is playable. All right, we'll take the Maritime Guard. We'll leave it in for now. Prefer to not play it if at all possible, but I would say green-blue certainly feels like where I'm supposed to be. Well, open a very good green rare in Outland Colossus. I think I will take it over the second Claustrophobia, even though I do think Claustrophobia is great. Amazing red cards in this pack. This would be one of those packs that would be bonkers to open in like sealed. Seismic Elemental, Acolyte, and Boggart Brute, all just, and even Infectious Bloodlust, just a really nice little aggro red shell. And red-blue, too, if you got the Artificer, Water Courser, Claustrophobia. It's pretty good. But we're going to take Colossus over Water Courser and Claustrophobia. Hope to table one of those. I think Colossus is a very powerful card, so happy to take it. Okay. Titanic Growth number 2, Chandra's Fury, Disperse, and Evolving Wilds. I'm okay with Disperse here. I like Disperse quite a bit. I like having one Disperse, and I'm hoping I can see some more pump spells. I might even see more Disperses, but I don't mind just getting one now. I think having one Disperse is really good. I kind of learned that from LSV, actually. I think he's the one that's like, the one Disperse is awesome. Multiple Disperses start to get pretty awkward, but I'm definitely good with getting one right now. Ooh, great green cards in here. Probably want the Naturalist. I like Somberworld Alpha, but I always seem to encounter packs with other cards that I think are slightly better, and I do think Naturalist is quite insane in this format. Being able to just bust other people's claustrophobias or suppression bonds has been just phenomenally good, and you get a good body on top of that. So hope to wheel the Scab or Disciple. We'll see if that happens. Foil Evolutionary Leap. Yeah. So find a Colossus, find a Naturalist. You can find like a Towergeist, sack a token, sack a Void Mage. I mean, it's a more exciting pick than Leaf Gilder, I think. And it's foil. Probably not worth anything, right? But maybe it is. We'll see. Nope, as expected, not worth much. But I think Leaf Gilder would be a very solid pick here too. But it feels like Evolutionary Leap is better enough than Leaf Gilder where I should just take it. Especially if I end up with like Elvish Visionaries or more Aspiring Aeronauts and stuff like that. I think Leap could be very good. Timberpack Wolf number 1. God, Evolving Wilds for days, but I still think I probably just want the first Wolf. I think Possessed Scab's a good card, by the way, but if we're running Rogue's Passage, we're going to have a hard time splashing. Rogue's Passage is looking insane now, by the way, with Outland Colossus, Naturalist, and Gorger in this deck. But Timberpack Wolf is, I think, the pick here. I like it more than the Recluse. How do I always end up with such late Jiraga invocations? This card is so wonderful. Just very happily taking that. Negate versus Aerial Volley for sideboard. I don't like Elemental Bond. Even in a deck that like ours that has, 4 guys already? I just don't think it's a very good card. Aerial Volley versus Negate. What do I think is a more valuable sideboard card? It's kind of tough to say, actually. Maybe the Negate is slightly more versatile than Aerial Volley? It could be. I'm actually not sure about that. Visionary is like right up this deck's alley. I think Llanowar Empath is very good too, both of them work very well with Evolutionary Leap, but I just want to make sure I've got enough early curve going on, and Visionary is just such an all-star for me. I mean, it is actually kind of a bummer that it's in the same pack as the Empath, but I also think it's easier to pick up 4-drops than it is to pick up, or I should say, it's easier to pick up playable 4-drops than it is to pick up playable 2-drops for the most part. All right, Water Courser I think is more exciting in this deck than Might of the Masses, so we'll take that. Titanic Growth number 2. I'm going to take it over the Scrapskin Drake. Deck's in a really good spot at the moment. We did table the Screeching Scab, which is also nice. It's just, you know, it's Evolutionary Leap fodder at worst. I did get beat by Dark Dabbling in the last draft. I think I want to cut blue, so we'll just take the Deep Sea Terror. Cut blue again, sure. Cut green, sure thing. All right. So I think we're unlikely to want to main deck Stratus Walk or Maritime Guard, which means we only need 4 playable cards out of the next pack, which I think is very doable. Removal, how are we looking? We got a couple Titanic Growths, 4 Tricks, Disperse, not quite removal, but useful. All right, probably just want Anchor here. Just a really nice tempo card. Another Orchard Spirit, not as exciting as Anchor, I don't think. Other good cards in here for sure, but I think Anchor's just a really nice card, so I don't mind first picking it. Naturalist number 2, Aeronaut, Starfish, Clash of Wills, all the cards we want. It's pretty difficult, actually. I'm kind of comfortable taking a Starfish here. I think it's a great card. It's been very good for me in general. I think Naturalist number 2 would be totally okay too, but we're actually kind of good on our late game, and I think we still will be able to find more, and I just think Starfish is phenomenal. It's just been games that it's... I'll say it. I've straight up think Starfish has won some games where I'm just... Like, some games you scry like 6 or 7 times. It's just out of control how good it can get. So, Hope to Wheel, Naturalist, Clash of Wills, Aspiring Aeronaut. Any of those would be nice. Undercity Troll is pretty awesome. I think it's slightly more exciting than Separatist Void Mage, even though I think Void Mage is phenomenal too. I think Undercity Troll is just a real... It's just one of those cards that can take a game over starting on turn 2. So it feels like the pick I want here. Okay, I'm a big Pharika's Disciple fan, but we do have a second Timberpack Wolf option here, which I think is pretty good for us. Keeps our curve relatively low. There's another Water Courser too, which I do like a lot. I think we'll probably take the Timberpack Wolf. Our curve is looking really nice, and Evolutionary Leap, hopefully, ideally, can find our late game creatures. I do like Disciple and Water Courser a lot too, but we'll take a second Wolf. I'm okay with that. Okay, Whirler Rogue, yeah. Well, what do you know? Whirler Rogue's insane. I think I probably play it over the Ring Warden Owl. It's just bonkers for this deck. Amazing with Evolutionary Leap. Amazing with Jiraga Invocation. I think Ring Warden Owl is just slightly, for the most part, unexciting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd rather cut. I don't think there is. I feel like Ring Warden Owl is legitimately the weakest card. I actually think I value Gorger more than Ring Warden Owl too. I'd rather pay an extra mana, 1 less colored mana, and get 2 extra power, 3 extra toughness. But Whirler Rogue, yeah. Please do. Tabled Claustrophobia, jeez. Now I'm at like a loss of what to cut, because we're definitely playing the second Claustrophobia. Guess I could cut a Screeching Scab. It's not like insane. It's certainly fine. But seems like something less good than our Timberpack Wolves, so okay. Aeronaut did wheel. I like this card more in this deck than I think Orchard Spirit, despite having a few 4-drops already. So I guess we'll take it and we'll figure out what we're going to cut for it in a sec. But yeah, I think Aeronaut's very good in this deck with the Evolutionary Leap, the Whirler Rogue, and the Jiraga Invocation. We probably want the little token generators a bit more. I'm trying to think what the weakest card in this deck is. I'm having a hard time. I'm kind of at a loss now. Could cut the Disperse. Geez, Aeronaut number 3. I want to play all these Aeronauts. Am I going to be able to do that? I think our curve's fine. I could cut the Gorger now, maybe. Maybe just Outland Colossus Naturalist. Invocation is enough late game to be happy. We don't have a bunch of good stuff to find with Evolutionary Leap, but sacking something that's already going to die or a token probably seems worth it. I definitely think we want to play all three of these Aeronauts. I'm going to hate the Hellhound. I think having one negate sideboard is probably good enough since our deck already looks pretty tight. And Hellhound is very good in the Steel and Sack deck. Aeronaut for days? Just take a fourth one? Probably want Clash of Wills here. Am I even going to be able to fit it in? Man. Just all the Aeronauts? I think I'm actually just probably already cutting Gorger. Maybe even cutting Orchard Spirit. I kind of want this Clash of Wills. Is that wrong? I love this card. I'm going to take the Clash of Wills. I don't know if it's right. Sidearm, maybe. Guess it doesn't matter. Sure. All right. Very good. All right. So, yeah, this deck looks great. Looks very strong. I think we are playing Rogue's Passage, but could actually pose some problems in this deck since we've got some multicolor stuff. But it just seems too good to pass up with when we've got Outland Colossus. I do think I want the Clash of Wills, so let's I'd prefer to not cut any creatures. So what are spells we can cut? I can probably cut Disperse. Having Anchor to the Ether, double Claustrophobia, Wild Instincts, double Titanic Growth. And then I just need one more cut. Maybe I can cut one Titanic Growth. I feel like having 15 creatures is going to be pretty good for us. It'll really justify the Drog Invocation and the Rogue's Passage a little bit more, in my mind. And Wild Instincts. Like, cutting a Titanic Growth, I think is okay. I think it's actually just fine. I'd rather have the diversity in my spells and combat tricks. I think Titanic Growth's great in this format, but we're dealing with just a really powerful looking deck here, so I don't think it's absolutely necessary to take that. And I think Leap is still pretty good with triple Aspiring Aeronaut, Whirler Rogue. We're going to be able to sack some tokens at some point and find some dudes. Our creatures, admittedly, though, are not insane. How beat down am I? I'm not particularly beat down, but I guess am I more mid-range? Maybe I am beat down. It's kind of tough to say. I think I'm going to err towards blue, even though I have more green. In fact, all my 2-drops are green. But I only need one green. I really need double blue. I really want to hit that. Hitting that Whirler Rogue on turn 4 is just absolutely insane. So I think I'm going to go, well, maybe I am doing an even split, actually, now that I think about it. Because I do want to play the Rogue's Passage. So I guess I do an 8-8 split. Yeah, and that's what they say, too. I have some concerns about the mana base. Seeing both colors is very important, and seeing double blue relatively early is also important. But I do think Rogue's Passage is good enough in this deck where I probably want to run it. Being able to make an Outland Colossus unblockable that can just win a game. Like, you draw a Rogue's Passage when you've got a 6-6 or a 12-12, and that's just game. So I like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty powerful looking. We absolutely ended up in the right colors. I think our sideboard options are pretty good, actually. Disperse, Titanic Growth, Negate, Maritime Guard, Screeching Scab. I think the ones we're most likely to sideboard into are Negate and Disperse, and I'd probably go Maritime Guard over Screeching Scab, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, very, very cool looking deck. I think this deck is good. I think it's powerful, so I'm excited to play this out and see how we do. We'll see you round 1.